On the 17th of December 2019. Fallon Sherrock smashes the glass ceiling to write her name into the history books.
Honestly, I am struggling for words. What an amazing moment to be part of.
I've just made history. I just can't believe it. I've proved that we can play the men and we can beat them.
For 85 women, the road to the World Championship starts here in the Metrodome Barnsley. 85 hopefuls inspired by the feats of those who've carved out a piece of sporting history in previous years. The history of the World Championship has seen notable moments from women who earned their right to play in the world's greatest darts tournament. The appearances were sporadic and sometimes disappointing. Defeat in the opening round a common theme.
Whatever the outcome, she's come from Russia with credit.
Game show of the match.
2001, the breakthrough year. Canada's Gayle King, the first to play. It would be another 8 years before Anastasia Dobromyslova hit the headlines, becoming only the second woman to compete. In 2019, in recognition of the growing strength of the women's game, two past and present world champions were given spots. Anastasia Dobromyslova featured once again.
The comfortable win over the three-time women's world champion Anastasia Dobromyslova.
Dobromyslova fell at the first hurdle. Lisa Ashton made a bigger impression in her first round clash with Jan Dekker.
Ashton with 5-ton 40s to just one from Dekker. That leaves the ball.
What a shot! What a fantastic shot to take the first set.
But Lisa Ashton now with a long shot to stay in it. Couldn't quite get it up and over.
Yeah.
The only requires 16.
Well, here it is. And Jan Dekker has put out the women's world champion Lisa Ashton. What a game it was, what a performance from Lisa Ashton in that first set where she averaged 107 as the crowd salute Lisa Ashton, the women's world champion, on her PDC World Championship debut. Well played, great match.
2020 was different. Again, two women featured in the lineup, Japan's Mikuru Suzuki and Fallon Sherrock. It proved a defining moment in the sport. Suzuki fell at the first hurdle, but came close to the upset.
That was an absolute fabulous game of darts, but just spare a thought for Mikuru. Yes, she'd be disappointed. She got close, unfortunately did not cross the line and create history at Ali Pali.
But the dream of progressing beyond the first round became a reality for Sherrock. She faced Ted Everts in the opening round.
Tops for the set. And she gets it.
The women's number two, who seemingly can't believe what she's done so far.
So we're on the edge of history. 36 left for Fallon Sherrock.
And Fallon Sherrock smashes the glass ceiling. The first woman to beat a man at the World Darts Championship. Fallon Sherrock is that woman on the 17th of December 2019.
Round two generated yet more headlines.
The bullseye to beat Sulovic. And sensation at the Alexandra Palace. She's done it again.
I'm still waiting for it all to sink in. I mean, it's not sunk in yet. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for your support.
Yeah, it was a great experience, and obviously, it was the first time I'd ever experienced anything like that. You know, playing all these players on the biggest stage there is, and honestly, it was such an experience that I want to, try and relive again, and that's why I'm here. I still remember when the dart went in on the double 18. I didn't know whether to laugh, cry. I was just filled with so much emotion. I just didn't know how to express it or anything. And even thinking back to the game now, it still gives me goosebumps. I was the one who started all of this off, and yeah, it's an incredible achievement, and I'm just so proud of myself.
Fallon Sherrock was the story of the 2020 World Championship. The door had not just been pushed open, but taken off its hinges by the Queen of the Palace. Reality kicks in as Fallon returns to the tough business of qualification. She competes alongside Lisa Ashton. Together they made the headlines, a point not missed on former world #1 Colin Lloyd.
Yeah, I mean, Fallon had a fantastic run. She certainly did put the ladies' darts on the map. And she beat some class players at the World Championship, so that was a great thing. Obviously, you had Lisa Ashton go to Q School, and she actually got a professional tour card on the PDC circuit. So in a whole, two ladies have probably made this happen this weekend, and I'm so glad that they have.
Another campaign about to get underway, but a pandemic intervened and the sport, along with the rest of the world, had to adapt. Qualification now came down to one tournament, 4 events played over 2 days. It's no easy road to the Palace, with plenty of players to watch out for.
You look past the big guns, you've got Lisa Ashton's daughters here, you've got Lorraine Stanley's daughters here. A young lady who I was looking forward to see yesterday was Katie Sheldon from Ireland, 16 years old. And she played on the streaming board, but I just think she got a little bit nervy. Young Bo Greaves, I think she's only 16 years old, and she's got the most beautiful throw you've ever seen in your life, and she is absolutely class. I mean, last year she won, I think it was the Welsh Open and the Welsh Classic in the ladies on the same weekend. You know, I think when you look around this room, there's just class players everywhere.
With 85 women, the stage is set for a groundbreaking tournament.
They're dreams, what we always think of, and you can't get any better than playing in the World Championship.
It's been amazing. It's a great opportunity to be able to try and progress the ladies' darts forward.
Has to be any sport. Seeing the youngsters come through is a massive, because it's nice to know that when you've gone, there is another grassroots coming along, stepping in your shoes.
I love the game of darts, and ladies' darts is going to progress if we can keep it going like this. It's amazing.
The standards going up and up and up, and you know, me getting older, I need to keep up with all the young players, but you can see definitely women's darts improve.
Only young, only 16, so I just want to get as much experience as I can and hopefully progress and hopefully one day be a world champion.
Plenty of ambition in the Metrodome and plenty of fascinating stories. For those familiar with the sport, some interesting names to conjure with. Lorraine Stanley is playing alongside her daughter, Josie Patterson.
Well, I've been doing the circuit for 10 years, and when I started doing the circuit, I used to take Josie along with me, and you started playing the youth tournaments, didn't you?
Yeah, and same scenario really. I've probably been doing that for the last 10 years, which is quite scary.
We're lucky enough to have played England together as well, so,
yeah.
So that was really good.
Then it's nice to have it as well. Not everyone has that support network, and it's quite nice to do something that kind of as a family, isn't it? It's quite nice to do it as a family, and I get where she's coming from. The lessons that she told me 10 years ago are now starting to put into place. You know, and it's actually really hard. It's not as easy as you think it is when you're 14.
But here in the Metrodome, the tournament format makes qualification a tough ask.
We have 4 women's events, the women's series, 2 per day. 85 entries, which we're really, really pleased with. So each event has a £5,000 prize fund. So once we get started, we do the draw. The eventual winner takes £1,000 home. And then after event 4, we do a ranking table, and the top 2 from that will get a place at the William Hill World Championships.
The prize fund will prove crucial. Each event broken down, with the winner collecting £1,000, £600 for the runner-up, but in a qualification process that may come down to the finest of margins. A semi-finalist gets £400 and a quarter-finalist wins £250. The road to the World Championship starts here, and it starts with the opening event on day 1. Among those featuring former world champion Anastasia Dobromyslova. She went out in the last 16 and was left to reflect on her performance against Felicia Blay, sister of Fallon Sherrock.
8 scored. Well, she was going for a 16 there, I think. She had to ask which segment it was in.
Game shot and the match, Felicia Blay.
She asked the question and she had the answer herself. Felicia Blay through to the quarterfinals, where she will take on her sister Fallon Sherrock.
It's still another tournament, so I hope I'll do better than the first one.
There's still another tournament. There are 3 more opportunities, but in this, the opening event, the big names were rising to the top. Lisa Ashton facing Joanne Locke in the semi-finals.
Game shot.
Well, it doesn't matter because Lisa Ashton has finished her job.
Ashton through for a meeting with either Fallon, Sherrock or DETA HEDMAN. They met in the other semi.
Double one, straight at it.
Game shot and the match.
And straight in it, Fallon Sherrock moves into the final. DETA HEDMAN worked her hard for that win, but in the end, Sherrock comes back from 4-2 down, winning the last 3 legs to book her place in the decider.
A final that featured 2 of the leading contenders in the field was no surprise. As to who would come out on top, well, that was decided over the course of 9 legs.
Is it tops? This time she's gone for the treble.
Game shot.
She's got it, and the double. And Lisa Ashton is the winning woman in the first ever Women's Series events. The first lady of darts for now is Lisa Ashton.
Familiar names featuring at the top: Lisa Ashton with the win and the £1,000, Fallon Sherrock runner-up. Worth noting the losing semi-finalists DETA HEDMAN and Joanne Locke, both now well placed in the race for the top 2 spots. Welcome back to the Women's Series event in Barnsley. In 2020, the landscape for sport is changing. An extraordinary year that's produced extraordinary solutions. This event is being streamed around the world, attracting the attention of the world's media and stirring interest in the World Championship. But the business of actually qualifying occupies the minds of 85 players as they prepared for Event 2. Plenty of young hopefuls, among them rising Irish star Katie Sheldon. She made it through the last 16, but lost out to Lorraine Winstanley.
To book her place in the quarterfinals.
Game shot and the match.
Is exactly what she does. Decent display in the end from Lorraine Winstanley. The first half of it was absolutely brilliant.
Despite that loss, the stage is set for a young star to break through. The gritty realism of Barnsley in sharp contrast to the dazzling spectacle that is Alexandra Palace. Fresh out of Dublin and eager for success.
I'm in school at the moment, so I go to school from 8 till 4 and then come home, practice, and then usually go to like a pub league, or then at the weekend have like events in Ireland. So I went to my first competition when I was 12 and got to a quarter-final of an Irish ranking and kept progressing, and then I got to a quarter-final of my first Europe Cup, which was huge for me at the time, and then last year I won the World Masters, which was great experience, and I was absolutely delighted, so I'll keep pushing on from there. I'm hoping to do well this weekend to just see where it leaves me and hopefully play more international events and just get as much experience as I can, because I'm only young, I'm only 16, so I just want to get as much experience as I can and hopefully progress and hopefully one day be a world champion.
This tournament was slipping away from Sheldon, but she was still enjoying the experience. In Event 2, Lisa Ashton fell early on, leaving the field open. Her rivals DETA HEDMAN and Fallon Sherrock faced each other in the semi-finals, a match that could yet prove decisive in terms of the overall result.
But it is match point for DETA HEDMAN. She will get a dart at double top to book her place in the final. Couldn't get past Fallon Sherrock in the first event at the semi-final stage. Missed match darts to do so, but this time she did not give Sherrock a chance.
It was do or die, to be honest with you. Calculated it out, either I had to beat Fallon. Well, basically had to beat Fallon.
For DETA HEDMAN, that opened up the route to the final. There she faced Holland's Eileen de Graaf.
Right, ladies, who wants it the most?
$60.
Good steady 60, but is it enough? Good solid 60.
$85.
We've seen some big scores, big finishes over the course of 2 tournaments today, but what we're really seeing here is the fighting qualities of one of the most experienced hands in world darts.
81.
DETA HEDMAN in this final, despite things that have gone against her, has just refused to be beaten so far. Will she be beaten?
83.
Eileen will be disappointed there with that 83. I mean, she hit a plumb treble 20 there and she'd have been begging for another one at least.
She'll be thinking that she led this
60.
final 5-3 and had the match in the palm of her hand. HEDMAN has found a way back in.
99.
Missed a dart at the bull for a 1-2-4 a couple of legs ago, and that bullseye came back to bite her when HEDMAN hit it for the 87.
So it's interesting here, Chris. Eileen's gone 85, 83, 99, but on all three occasions she's hit the 60 with the first dart.
45.
So the damage could have been a lot worse for DETA.
$33.
She opens the door again. Trying to calm herself down in the background, sort of shaking it out.
105.
I was just about to say the treble seems to have deserted DETA there, and she's left what seems to be her favourite finish. We haven't seen her hit it yet in this final, but she's had 2 goes at it, missing out on double 18 with the last dart.
81.
Will it be the way to win? We know which way she's going, treble 20. Can't find it this time, but where will she leave it?
134.
Superb. Montegraph now has to take out 120. And she's not going to do it.
40.
DETA just needs to compose herself here. 3 clear darts at double 8. She'd have hit this hundreds of thousands of times in her life to win tournaments, and this is just another one.
Game shot and the match.
And DETA HEDMAN is the leading lady at the Women's Series. After 2 events, she tops the pile and is in pole position for a place at the World Championship.
Eileen de Graaf, a former World Masters champion, with an encouraging result from the second event, but for HEDMAN she now leads the way, clear of ASHTON and Sherrock, a 3-way battle looming as we go into day 2. The pace being set by 2 women, DETA HEDMAN and Lisa ASHTON. The pressure still on as the race for qualification for the World Championship intensifies. Welcome back to Barnsley and day 2 of the qualification tournament. At stake, 2 places at the World Championship. A 3-way battle developing for those 2 spots. DETA HEDMAN, Lisa ASHTON and Fallon Sherrock are the front runners.
I felt I played really well yesterday, and obviously getting to the final yesterday was such an achievement anyway. Obviously a little bit disappointed obviously that I didn't come over the winning line, but I mean I played Lisa. I mean Lisa's like a Pro Tour card holder for a reason. Do you know what I mean? She's not an easy game or anything like that. So and then I played DETA in the semis yesterday, who then went on to win it again. So for me, I've played both winners. So I've got to take that into, gain confidence from that. I did lose to the winners. So hopefully today I can, change things, and hopefully I can be the winner today and accumulate as much money as I can, and hopefully get, place in the World Championships.
But it is the 2 winners who dominate, Lisa ASHTON and DETA HEDMAN. Day 2 about to get underway, 2 more events and the chance to grab the limelight as well as a great sporting opportunity.
I was playing well, so I knew if I just played like that, hopefully get through and get the first one under my belt. And then, as it is with me and Fallon in the final, getting through that. So winning the first one was a brilliant, good start.
On day 2, there's a sense of optimism rippling through the field, particularly for those that lead the way. Plenty of opportunities with 2 more events. A leaderboard open, just £50 separating second from third. A win for either Lorraine Winstanley or Joanne Locke would put them in the mix. But for the moment, the experienced DETA HEDMAN on top.
Well, I'm 61 next month, so I've actually been playing for probably over 40 years. So on the tour, you'd probably say about 35 I've been on the tour, yeah. How has it changed? Oh, the standard has gone through the roof. It really, really has. And darts, to me, is darts anyway, but more of the ladies are putting more time in now, I've noticed, putting more effort in. And obviously, where the PDC has come in to give us that platform for the World Championship and the Grand Slam of Darts, I think more of the ladies are now taking their darts out and practicing to see where they could get to. The ladies' game is in a very good place. My ambition, oh my God, I think I've probably achieved most of them. I like to go under the radar. Funny enough, my other half said to me last night, he said, if I didn't put anything on and beef you up, nobody would know you've done anything. I said, well, that's what I am like. I don't blow my trumpet, I just like to go out there and just sneak. And they go, oh, DETA HEDMAN. It's me. But yeah, there's not much more that I can do, but encourage the youngsters to come along and step in my shoes and carry on.
Event 3 on day 2 saw DETA HEDMAN successfully negotiating the last 16 and into the quarter-finals. One player who didn't fare as well was Katie Sheldon, through to the last 16, but then out to Eileen de Graaf.
I won 3 games, and then the last 16 I got bet 4-1 by Eileen de Graaf, and I missed out to make it 2-all, which could have changed it maybe, but I was happy enough with how I played.
The attention shifted back to the big 3 who had emerged from the pack. 2 of them clashed in the quarter-final of Event 3, Sherrock and HEDMAN, level after 6 legs.
It's getting very, very exciting. This is getting great now. Imagine what this afternoon's going to be like.
Well, the first start 66 from Fallon was sublime, but she's failed to follow and has left herself a sizable finish. 3 apiece here, 3 apiece between Vicky Proom and Lisa Ashton.
85.
Good recovery last start there from DETA. All depends how much pressure can Fallon put on this shot now.
Well, she's not going to take it out, so HEDMAN will return with another match-winning opportunity. Having missed a couple of darts
97.
to win the match, 1 treble in this equation will give her another. Can she find her way underneath? She can't.
100.
But leaves it perfectly poised. Well, it's double 4 for Fallon Sherrock.
.48.
And she hasn't found it. The head drops.
What a massive opportunity this is for DETA here. Oh, she was very lucky there. That could have gone into 16.
Game shot on the match, DETA HEDMAN.
And it is the same double that Fallon failed to find that sees HEDMAN force her way through to the semi-finals yet again. DETA HEDMAN in the last 4.
The field was being whittled down. Lisa Ashton was always likely to attract attention. Vicky Proom pushed her all the way, the match going down to a final deciding leg.
I've just played the toughest game against Vicky Proom. I was 3-0 down, so get it back and get through. Now hopefully I'll just get my head on and get all the way.
The pressure on Ashton increased as she watched her rival DETA HEDMAN easily defeat Tracy North 5-0.
3 clear darts of 32 for this match.
Game shot and the match, DETA HEDMAN.
And HEDMAN gets it done. She moved through to the final.
Ashton faced a tougher test in the last 4 up against Corinne Hammond. Once again, the match went to the wire.
Lisa's, I think, a little bit in control of this leg. If she hits a decent score here, she could only be a handful of darts away
44.
from getting through to yet another final.
Well, 44, a worse visit of the leg, but still in control of it.
45.
And therefore of the match. Corinne cutting a frustrated figure at the moment. She's been able to carve out an opportunity. A last leg shootout
94.
with Lisa Ashton, but she's not taking that chance.
She needs a 2 treble visit here, really.
96.
Yeah, not too bad, but Lisa's now got a guaranteed 6 darts at 106, so doesn't need to do anything silly here. Double 18 for the match.
Game shot and the match, Lisa Ashton.
And Ashton gets a job done. Corinne Hammond fought hard, but it is Ashton against Hedman in the final of Women's Series Event 3.
Lisa Ashton relieved to be through and showing gritty determination.
That was a very scrappy game, yeah. Me and Corinne had the battle in then, and I just dug in as like I have done all day, and just got through there and then just tried to prepare myself for the final.
The final act of Event 3 and 2 familiar names suggesting that this weekend could turn into a straight race between Ashton and Hedman.
Tough ask, I think, with the way that Lisa's playing and the way she's finishing.
82.
Good recovery with the last dart.
$140.
It's as if now Lisa Ashton can almost taste a second victory. Kicks in there with a 140 to put the pressure back onto DETA.
58.
We're closing in on that scenario where a win here for Lisa Ashton would eliminate
95.
everybody from contention for a World Championship spot other than herself, DETA HEDMAN and Fallon Sherrock.
44.
Well, if Lisa hits a big shot here, Chris, I think the writing could be on the wall for this final. Should come down.
99.
Yeah, nice little setup. Got a lot of darts ahead of her, I think, unless DETA can hit a couple of big trebles.
60.
At least 6 for Lisa Ashton to convert this 167.
$44.
Well, no treble there. Hedman needs to weigh in with probably 2 trebles minimum.
Yeah, and that's not the easiest of finishes there for Lisa. It's a little bit of a combination finish, but DETA's not going to put any pressure on it, so there'll be
45.
If Lisa does have bullseye left with the last dart, she certainly will not need to go for it. She can just set this up comfortably.
She hasn't found the
83
treble 10, but she's set up the shot comfortably, as you suggested. And all Hedman can do here is hit and hope.
That's not a bad hit. She can hit another one or two. If she can hit a 1-8 here to leave 32.
140.
Well, still a decent pressure shot, Chris. But 40 for Ashton for the match.
Double top.
Game shot and the match, Lisa Ashton.
And it's Ashton at the double in the Women's Series. Lisa Ashton picks up her 2nd title of the weekend and now takes the lead in the order of merit. The race for Alexandra Palace is on.
Me and DETA always had battles on the game. We was both up and down, DETA miss. I hit, I took my chances. It's always going to go to the wire mostly with DETA, but I can't be any happier. Just get the result and get over the winning line.
I'm too old for this. Lisa has always hit her doubles better than I did, and she did outscore me. To be honest with you, I found I was really pushing. Just wanted it to be a good game, and it didn't quite. They were too close, not close enough. And hands up to Lisa. She's been playing fantastic anyway, and she hit the double before me.
And indeed, the doubles did make the difference, not only in terms of the match, but also the leaderboard. Lisa Ashton back on top, but only just £50 clear of DETA HEDMAN. Fallon Sherrock back in 3rd, still in contention for a top 2 spot, but needing a big result in event 4. It's now a straight race between these three. Fallon in third, feeling the pressure.
It's a lot of pressure because obviously like I want to get to the World Championships. That's what I'm inspired to do, and it's so tight up the top. So I've literally just got to forget about all of that and just try my best. And I think obviously I might have to, you know, go all the way to the final, if not win it. And that's a lot of pressure, but I'm ready for that. And I've been training mentally for the pressure. So hopefully, fingers crossed, I can, you know, get over a couple of rounds and kind of get my confidence back up and, you know, play how I can.
But all three have tasted success in televised tournaments playing alongside their male counterparts. A major hurdle in any sport is equality. Darts has tackled that head on and provided the opportunities.
Women are equal to men, and they can go into the qualifying school, same as the men and everything, and that's where Lisa qualified for a Pro Tour card. She's the first woman to actually have done it, so it just shows it can be done. And more women are taking part in the undercard, the Challenge Tour, and they're giving as good as they get. DETA HEDMAN took out 3 players. She took out Kevin Painter, a past world finalist. She took out Cody Harris, a guy from Australia, trying to make his mark in the game, in the professional game. So these ladies can actually do it, and yeah, it's a great opportunity for them.
As the sport opens up, certain players have taken the opportunity. Lisa ASHTON, who leads the way after 3 events, is one such player. Her career is testimony to determination, talent and opportunity. With 4 BDO World Championships to her name, she's also the first woman to win a PDC Tour card at Q School.
Every time the standards are getting higher, the ladies are raising the game, and we're showing like we can compete against the men because the levels are getting higher and the ladies are, and we've got more ladies to come through. It's great we're doing this and the ladies are backing it. We've got a lot of the young ones playing in this, and that just shows they're interested. So the more they enter, the more our ladies' game keeps going forward. So it's brilliant, the youngers are coming over.
Can Lisa ASHTON hold off the challenge of the younger generation? Event 4 coming up after the break. Welcome back to Barnsley and the final act in this Women's Series tournament that'll see 2 players qualify for the World Championship. In the final event of the weekend, Lisa ASHTON had comfortably negotiated the quarter-finals with a 4-0 win over Eleanor Cairns. She would face the winner of a crucial quarter-final clash that featured DETA HEDMAN and Fallon Sherrock, the women locked in places 2 and 3 respectively. The pressure on Fallon, who had ground to make up. Fallon leading 3-2, needing just 1 more leg for the win.
You know, you could hear a pin drop. It almost adds to the tension.
Yeah, that's what's made this weekend, Chris, so good about these ladies playing. You know, they haven't bothered about that. They've just focused on the dartboard, and you know, most of these ladies wouldn't have played in this sort of situation before. Has it stopped them? No, they've still gone up there and thrown world-class darts, and that's exactly what we all wanted to see, and that's what we've got.
Absolutely, and that point highlighted by that set-up shot from Sherrock. The 1-3-1 leaves the 1-3-0.
40.
And DETA HEDMAN may be facing an anxious wait in a few moments.
.58.
Well, she needs a 180 here minimum, Chris, I think, to, you know, I'm not sure if that would even apply much pressure, which she's not going to get, so.
46.
Fallon's got a clear-cut chance at the 72 here.
She went the same way as HEDMAN. Gets a dart for the match.
Game shot.
And she takes her chance. And with that, Fallon Sherrock keeps her hopes alive of returning to the Alexandra Palace, where she was crowned queen last year.
The tournament finishes for HEDMAN in the quarter-finals of the last event, but has she done enough?
If I get through, I get through. At the end of the day, I kind of like to do it myself. I don't like relying on anybody. And the way I look at it, okay, if what is to be will be, and if it wasn't meant to be, it won't be.
it's definitely very satisfying, especially because I've like lost to her twice already, and I'm like, oh, okay, come on, Val, you need to get over the line here, especially like to get the World Championship spot and at least put me in a run-in for it. So yeah, that was a really great win for me, and hopefully I can just take it to the next step. But I'm very pleased with that performance.
Once the dust had settled on the quarter-finals, the attention switched to the semis. Corinne Hammond had gone under the radar, but put in an impressive performance against Laura Turner.
She's been pretty good at wrapping up the leg so far, Corinne. Oh, that's a bit of a slip though. She's got to go over 19s here. Oh, that's a great dart. Double 10 for the match.
Game shot. And the match.
Job done for Corinne Hammond. She books a place in the decider.
The pressure and attention was still on Fallon Sherrock. She'd been under the spotlight from the moment she arrived here in Barnsley. Her achievements in the World Championship are well documented, her performance attracting media attention from around the world.
I just thought, oh, it's only a game of darts, people watch it on TV, but I didn't expect it to blow up as much as what it did. And I mean, I didn't expect it to go, all around the world and the whole world be talking about it. So that was just incredible to think that the whole world was just talking about, me, because I was always like the underdog and all that. Like I never had any expectations, going into the games or anything. And it was just such a privilege that, now I'm the person that everyone kind of looks up to, and, when they want to achieve goals in life, like they're like, oh, well, Fallon did it, so we can do it as well.
The momentum was there, and before she knew it, she was playing in the Premier League.
Premier League was amazing. Obviously, I played Glenn, who eventually, as you know, like he's won the whole Premier League. So for me to play Glenn was a privilege anyway. And the fact I got to play, in the Premier League itself, I was like amazing, because the whole crowd atmosphere was like amazing, and it was just a surreal experience. I mean, it was great.
Will that experience translate to this tournament here in Barnsley? No crowds, no media, just an intense competition to make it back into the spotlight. Experience, grit and determination put to the test as Fallon faces Lisa Ashton in the semi-final of Event 4, a must-win match for Fallon Sherrock.
Yeah, nice little 11 darter. Yeah, I think by looking at Lisa's body language, I think
95.
The adrenaline might have worn off a little bit. But Fallon's still in there battling away.
134.
Yeah, that's a great opener. Nice little 134 there. Fallon is a top-class player, and she will not want to go away from this event without at least winning one of these series events. And she's certainly battling hard to do that. Could he get a maximum here?
121.
Not quite, but still a big ton-plus shot. Mistake there from Lisa. She should have switched down there really to give herself a chance of a finish.
Yeah, it has been a very, very good performance from Fallon Sherrock, and even though it won't result in a place at the World Championship, I think it is right and just
55
for her to have a chance at least to add a name to the Roll of Honour. We've been talking about it over the course of the weekend. It has seemed to be the case that there's been a big three. Of course, going into this final event, there were only 3 players in contention for those places.
Yeah,
they are both in.
Yeah, 71. It's either a treble 17 or a treble 13.
159.
Yeah, it's a fabulous shot. It really is. I've said that so often this weekend. It might be meaningless. The dreaded double 5.
75.
Double 16 then. A sublime set-up shot from Sherrock. And she gets the job done, finally defeating Lisa Ashton to book her place in the final.
For Lisa, the tournament is over. The result not in doubt, qualification for Alexandra Palace assured. But for Fallon Sherrock, that semi-final win, another vital step for the player from Milton Keynes.
great result to beat Lisa. I mean, obviously she's one of the best players there is, and to get a win over Lisa is just a privilege in itself, and I'm really proud of myself for getting that win over her, especially because I lost in the final against her the other day. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to the final now, and you know, hopefully just keep my fingers crossed and, you know, keep checking my shoes and just see how lucky I can get and see if I can win.
One more match to play out here in Barnsley. The prospect of Fallon winning would force the draw for the second spot. In that instance, legs 1 would come into play. But first up, Fallon needed the victory against Corinne Hammond.
Yeah, it was all joking aside, that was a classy leg 60. Of darts, a 13 dart leg there, which included a 180 and a 159 setup. So, and she's back in that treble 20 again. Yeah, could this be another 180?
140.
Ooh, not quite, but a big 140. Where Corinne Hammond here is throwing to save her throw, and not only that, but save the match.
60.
And she's lost the throw now already. Could do a treble here, really.
100.
Which she duly obliges with.
$98.
Could have done with another treble, but not the treble 7.
Yeah, Fallon Sherrock closing in now. It would be fitting for her to add her name to the Roll of Honour alongside Lisa Ashton and DETA HEDMAN. The cruel twist, of course, in the tail will be that she will finish on exactly the same amount of ranking 45. Money as DETA HEDMAN, as we've explained, missing out on legs 1. And by only a couple as well.
82.
Lovely thing about it, though, Chris, is you know,
46.
It's not going to be a Fallon that thinks, you know, it's not a lovely thing, but you know, she still carried on and played to a fantastic standard in this final, of which, you know, I think she is going to win now. She's just had that little bit too much for Corinne in this final.
Yeah, she's done everything she could in this final event. The only different thing she could have done is in that 37. Match against DETA HEDMAN is stop DETA winning the 1 or 2 legs that could have made the difference. But at that point, I mean, nobody seemed to know, you know. She wasn't going to know
58. Yeah.
That's what was needed. She just wanted to win the match.
Yeah.
Great dart. Double top.
Game shot and the match. Fallon Sherrock.
And Fallon Sherrock takes the crown, but the Queen will not return to the palace.
Impressive as that win was, it all comes down to legs 1, with Fallon Sherrock just missing out.
Yeah, I'm really happy to have won a title this weekend, because that was always my ambition when I come, just to try and at least win one and, you know, see how I can get one at the weekend. And yeah, losing up by 2 legs, it's a bit soul destroying, but it could have been worse. It could have been more legs. When if you had 2 legs, it's nip and tuck. And I mean, I'll improve on that and come back stronger next time.
Confirmation of the final standings. Lisa Ashton tops the list, and by the narrowest of margins, DETA HEDMAN takes the crucial second spot from Fallon Sherrock. So it's Ashton and HEDMAN who now qualify for the World Championship.
It's because my birthday next month, and it's a fantastic birthday present. I couldn't wish for something better.
You can't ask anything better, yeah, to get in the World Champs and do the Grand Slam. I am so over the moon.
I've got to go to work now and try to get the time off, because December we're not allowed any time off from about the 27th of November through, because of Christmas pressure. So it would be something nice to tell them, and I'm hoping they'll give me the time off. I haven't even thought about that bit.
Confirmation of a successful weekend and a powerful statement on the state of women's darts. Lisa Ashton and DETA HEDMAN rising to the top and heading to the PDC World Championship.